Hello guys, welcome to my reading journal setup video. I am so excited for you guys to see how this journal turned out. I had so much fun making it, and I was like, I have to show you guys. So yeah, here I am working on the cover page. So I glued the initial two pages together because they're already like half glued, and then I cut it to make it into a really cool cover page. You'll see in a second. But yeah, I had this journal for over a year, and I knew, I would use it for something special, and now I have. So I was sitting on my shelf, grabbed it. It's perfect. The cover is perfect for, like a reading theme, a little mystical, something magical. Obviously not haram magic, but So yeah, there we are. And then, so the main thing for this journal was I didn't want to paint the things. I didn't want to draw them because my main journal is a watercolor journal. So I've been doing a lot of that in there. And I miss using paper products. I miss using scrapbook paper, stickers, all that good stuff. So for this one, I was like, I'm going to let myself just use those things. And that's why I'm really excited because I haven't used them in a long time. So yeah, the paper pad that I'm using mainly for all of the initial like pages in the setup is from, I think, a spring theme paper pad. I don't know the name. I don't even have the cover. It's been so long. But yeah, I really loved like all the pages, all the designs, all the little elements that they have. And I love the colors. So I was like, let's just make this, like a garden theme. Obviously, I think it was a little bit influenced by my recent read, which was about a garden. But yeah, I just loved it. It's so pretty. So another thing that I really love in my journals is the 3D aspect, right? I don't like keeping things flat all the time. Like I like there to be dimension and depth. So you can see that in the way that I put the books on the page. Like they're half off the edge, so they look like they're sticking out and they're like real, And then also with the pink paper that I'm putting down, I'm not gonna lay it flat on the paper. I have 3D foam tape, I believe is what it's called. Yeah, like foam tape. So that's what I'm putting on the back. You will see it when I rip the backing off. But it actually gives some that depth. See, it's not flat. And I love the ripped look. I don't know why, but I was like, I do want like a ripped look. So yeah. And I love the quotes. You guys can pause it, read what it says, because these are real true words that I feel, regards to reading and books and stories and novels. So I was like, I have to put this instead of putting random like quotes that I find online. But like these are words from my heart. So again, love the whole reading journal concept. Was really excited about this. And yeah, that was the cover page that actually had taken me a few hours just because I had to sit and think about what I actually wanted to do. And then we move on to my library shelf page, the page where I will have library books on a shelf, and then I'll fill them out, put whatever books I'm reading, throughout my reading journey. So this painting, I already have a short video out about the painting, but yeah, I loved it. I did not know I was going to do a full-on painting in this spot. First, I was thinking, maybe I'll just put some pattern paper or maybe a really nice like print that I already have. I could just cut it into the circle, stick it on. But then I was like, no, like I want to use my own art somewhere, right? So I sketched this out, and I wanted it to be something that I didn't already like draw on, and that you guys haven't already seen me draw on this account. I think actually I have something similar maybe, but this is different. Okay, this is different, and I ended up doing this whole thing. So it's like a window, and you're seeing this house and this field from it, and you're inside that library. Or you could think of it as a painting in the library. Either way it works, right? For me, it's the window. But yeah, I actually really, really liked it. It was fun drawing this or painting it. While I was painting this, I was listening to an audiobook. It was about like some murder and like some FBI agents and all that stuff. So it's really interesting because that's what I keep remembering whenever I look at this house. And it takes me back to that night and that whole story, and I just wish I could go back and like continue that story or like listen to it again. I don't reread books really, so I'm not going to do that, but I want that again, that experience. It was really nice and fun. And I'm thinking maybe I can do that, listen to some more audiobooks when I paint something. But yeah, I love this house. It's outside in the field. I love the trees. I love that the trees are not green. I wanted to make this different and like something not just like normal that you would see. Obviously, I mean it's a normal scene, but just color wise, like it's my painting and I can make it however I want to. And I like the pink trees. Thinking about it now, I was like, why did I not make them purple, my favorite color? But pink is good, it was like, it's like pink cherry blossoms. So yeah, it was really nice and fun painting this. I did use acrylic pens, no other medium except the pens, and then a fine liner that I used to add in some details towards the end. Okay, hello. I just realized that I stopped talking about the audiobook. Like, that was like a side topic. But this is a reading journal, so I am going to tell you what book I read. What was the name of the book? I think the name of the book was Girl Alone by Blake Pierce. Yeah, so I actually just randomly put this audiobook on because I wanted to listen to something. And at that moment, I wasn't like in the mood to listen to a lecture specifically. So I was like, okay, I'm in the reading mood. Let me just put on a book. And this was like one of the free books available on the app that I was using. And I didn't know how the book actually was going to be, especially because like, I haven't been in the mood to like listen to or read or watch anything like crime related or anything just like negative or dark. I like reading happy stuff these days. So I was like, I don't even know if I want to put this on. So initially when I put it on, I was listening, but I wasn't really listening. And then, obviously when you're working, you're painting especially, you still listen. You can still hear attentively. So words were going into my ears, and then eventually I did end up liking the book. I was interested, and it was pretty good. So that's how I actually got around to listening to this. And I finished this whole book during the whole process of me creating this whole journal. I think the book finished before the journal actually was completed, so that's crazy. I'll tell you guys more about the book when I do the review for it. So yeah, stay tuned. Okay, back to our page. I am like, when I was drawing the grass, like painting, I keep saying drawing. When I was painting the grass, I was like, look at those scribbles, especially on the right hand side. Like, what in the world is that? I don't even know. But sometimes like art is art, even scribbles are, something. So it's okay. But yeah, here I am drawing the bookshelves. I had this really cool like Japanese style like window plus shelves in mind, and I kind of changed it a little bit because I didn't realize that my bookshelves or the wood would turn out the way that it was. Like, I didn't want that. You see how it's separate? I didn't want it, so then I had to join it in the center. But that's not exactly the look I was going for, but it's okay. Because then I started doing this, and it made my vision come truer. And then obviously we have to line art. Even though there are paintings that look good without the line art just helps bring in the details, It helps bring things into perspective. So I really like doing that, especially the house. I think my favorite thing in this whole painting is the house, the bricks on it. You see how I added the highlights on the roof, like for the shingles? Oh my god, that looks so nice. And then when I go ahead and add like the brick details, if I do, I don't even remember. I think I do. Even if I don't, it looks nice like this because you can see the contrast, and that shows the bricks. But yeah, this was nice. So, reading journal. I recently started. By recently, I mean like months. Like this year, I started getting back into my reading habit. And it's been fun. Like, I really like it. I have a really good routine, especially at night, before I go to sleep. After praying Isha, I just get into bed. And I pick up whatever book I have going on for that time. And then I just start reading. I read for, I think, at least like half an hour to an hour at like usually that's my time frame, because this replaces, like, if I was laying down, I would be using my phone, or even like talking to anyone, or just screen time. So it gives me like a better alternative, and it helps me go to sleep instead of me like watching something on my phone, or getting all that the lights in my eyes. I have a little like night light, not a night light, it's like a book light that I just put on my books, and then I read. It's light and it's good. So yeah. So I have been doing that for quite some time now, and then I was like, I should actually remake a reading journal. I had one before, but it's like falling apart. And then I was like, because I want to like read the book and then not just put it away immediately and just be like done with it. I'm a reflective person. I like thinking. So I was like, I should, and the book deserves, especially if it's a good book, it deserves some attention, some thought. So that's where the book reviews come in. I can think about it. I can share my thoughts on it. I can rate it. I can tell you guys if you guys should read it or not, So hence the existence, the emergence of the reading journal. And right here you can see I am making my bookshelf come to life. I'm adding different books. And then once I'm done reading a specific book, like let's say any book, I finish reading it, I will color a book in and I will write the title. Now, coloring the book in will depend on what kind of book it was or what format of book it was. So you will see later I color in and create a little key on the top left-hand side shelf, which will say like if I'm reading a physical book, I have to color it, specific color. If it's an audiobook, it's a separate color. If it's an ebook, it's a different color, stuff like that. I don't really read ebooks that much. I used to, but I like the feel of physical books. And again, I'm like trying to take away that screen time at night. So a physical book is better. And just in general, like, throughout the day, you're using your phone, you're on your computer, you're on your iPad, whatever. Like, you don't need to be on it while you're reading. So that's a good break. So I do tend to just read physical books more. And then I just started the audiobook, I guess, because of the one that I just listened to that I told you guys about. So yeah, there's that. So on the top left, you can see I have like 6 different colored books. So they're going to be for the different types that I just mentioned. I had to put my name and title in there because the top space was empty. And I actually really like how it turned out. I added the purple so it could go with the painting. And it looks nice. Like, it's bubbly. It's nice. It's nice. And of course, it's my favorite color, so it's nicer. But yeah, look at the whole thing. You guys can see it right now, Obviously, aside from my hands and the circle that's covering the painting. But look at that. That looks so nice, right? Especially when you flip over the page, it's so fresh and nice and good. I hope I can finish this, fill it out like properly. So something I'd like to mention is that typically people make reading journals for like a year. So like my 2026 reading journal, my 2025 reading journal. But for me, that's just not practical, because I know I'm not going to read that much, even though I am reading a good amount. But I'm not someone, like, people read 5 books a month. I can't do that. Like, for me, maximum, I think it's like 2 books a month. Like, so far I've gotten down to like finishing 1 book in 2 weeks, which is big for me. So I wanted to keep this like undated. Like, I don't want to limit it to a specific year. So this is just going to be my ongoing reading journal until it's full. So yeah. And then So that will actually help me like fill in the books. I won't be pressured, oh my god, I'm gonna have so many empty spaces by the end of this year, especially since I just created it in August. But anyways, I really wanted to do like an atlas or like a reading challenge based off of location. So I printed out this map. Oh my god, it was so hard for me to actually find a map that I could use for this purpose. I printed it out on my Cricut machine, sticker paper, and then yeah. So about this is whenever I read a book that's located in a specific country, like the story is located in there, I will go ahead and mark that off. So I will color in the country, and then I have little cards on which I will write like what book it was, where it was located, and the date that I read it. So I have these like travel themed little cards, and then I'll use some more too if I need to. But I'm gonna do that for this. I'm really excited about this. I do have a couple of places or countries locked down already. I have like, I think 6 or 7 books that I'm ready to put in the journal right now, obviously after it's done. So there were a few things that I really wanted my reading journal to have, like especially in the beginning, that I will use throughout my whole like journey. So we have like the atlas, right? We have the atlas, we have the bookshelf, and then one of the other things was like a page for favorite quotes. And I've never really like written down quotes before from my books. But again, like I didn't like, I had a reading journal a long time ago, and like in that I did reviews. I don't think I did quotes, but it's just because I didn't. I didn't like have myself do it. So now I'm thinking like, I'll do it. Obviously not from like every single book. Like if it doesn't stand out to me, then no, I don't need to. But this could be a fun page to, have some interesting quotes and stuff from the books. Like why not? So yeah, just doing some minimal decoration and then just putting in the title. So I had this craft sticky note paper. That's what I used to like put in the background. I just thought it would help things pop a little bit. And it's still like the garden theme, but we just have that little craft color, which I think is actually nice, and it's bright too. So I love it. But yeah, for this page, this is all the decoration that I'm really doing. Nothing else. Except like a little tiny border around the pages, which I'm actually going to do throughout the whole journal just to keep it, cohesive. So yeah, there's that. And look at that, it turned out pretty cute and simple. On to my next spread. I really actually wanted to do this one. It is called Borrowed Wisdom. So basically any lessons that I learned from the books, I will put down here. And even though I realized this later that I only left like one spread for this, it should have been more. But I was like, it's okay, let me just do this for now, and if needed I'll add another page towards like the end or the center of the journal. But yeah, just because again I'm a very reflective person, and the books that I've been reading, like they've been pretty good, and they come to me like at a time where I guess I can relate to them a lot. So in that situation, I did want to write down some of the things that I either learned, like something new. It could be even old, like something I already know, but just use it as a reminder, or if I just like it, I can write it down. But it's supposed to be lessons that you learn while you're reading books. So yeah, one thing I noticed is as I progress into the journal, my decorations are becoming less and less. But I mean, I was getting tired, yeah, because I think a lot of this I did in one sitting, but I think I did do it like over a few days. Like this journal wasn't done like through like overnight at all. But yeah, like simpler decorations are good too. Like I didn't want this to become like a burden or just like completely decorations. I want it to be a practical space. Also, I needed space, to write the stuff. So yeah. Now let me move on to another one of the pages I really wanted. Again, obviously I really wanted all of these, but I wanted this one because, again, as I mentioned earlier, that I realized that the books that I was reading were very, it felt like they were sent to me at the right time, right? Like Allah was like, you got to read this book, you know, learn from this or just read it. So a lot of them were very, what do you call it? Relative to my situations, or just, they were nice to learn. Even if they weren't exactly like all the way relative, but they were pretty relative. Or let's just say I am able to take out lessons that relate to me from any situation. So yeah, that's why I wanted a list of the books that came to me at the perfect moment, or that came to me at the moment or at the time that I needed them to be. I think that's the title. But yeah, because I really wanted to just keep track of that, because there are some books, like just a couple of them, not like too many, but that felt like perfect, So I did want to keep track of them and write them down in here. I did leave 2 spreads for that. And then we move on to some challenges I want to do. So besides that world map challenge, like the geographical challenge, there is an alphabetical one that I wanted to do. So it's like this. So each title that matches or starts with, one of the letters gets put in there, and that's it. And obviously I can only count one book for one prompt, right? So for one letter, I can't use that same book in all of the challenges. That would be unfair, I think. But I could use them in a couple if they really, really, really go. And if I really need to just cross them off, But yes, that brings us to our book bingo, or our reading bingo. I did this before and I liked it. So I'm drawing them. I'm done. So I drew out some boxes and I found this perfect paper to use as like the main front cover. So yeah, so on the top, like on the green boxes, I will write down the prompt, and when you flip it open, the corresponding box underneath is where I will write the name of the book. I will give you an example in a little bit once we start writing them down. Or actually, I don't think I have a video of me writing it down. So for example, if it's reading a book with a purple cover, so whatever book I read with the purple cover, I will write the name of that in there. I can only choose one book per prompt. I cannot use more than that. Otherwise, because I was like making this and I like thought of one book for like 20 boxes. I can't do that. So yeah. It looks nice. It's different from the paper pad that I was using before, but it goes with, the garden picnic theme, so it's all good, same colors. So an incident that happened with me was when I was writing down the different prompts on that bingo page, my notebook literally fell apart. I was like, what? The spine like came off. I had noticed like the glue stretching earlier, but I was like, no, that's not possible. And then it literally like broke. So I had to like super glue it back on. I was so sad. But it's fine. It looks fine. It's just they don't lay flat as they used to, so that kind of like sucks. But otherwise, like, it's fine, At least the whole thing is still here and I can still use it. So yeah, moving on to my last spread of this journal. This is, I think it's called A Reader's Treasure Hunt. So basically it's like a tracker for different reading experiences. So you will see I have, I believe, 6 or 8. I have 8 different sections. So for example, one is regarding like heart and soul. And then I'll have prompts related to that if my book matches that. If my experience, not just the book, if the experience that I had while reading that book matches that, I get to cross it off and I write down the name of the book underneath. And you guys will see that in just a moment. By the time I was on this page, I wanted to do more and more challenges, because I was like, I'll just finish these and then I want more and more. But then I was like, let's just relax. Let's do this. I do want to do a challenge where I have to read a book, at least one book from all of the genres, because I know there are some that I would just like avoid. But I didn't really include it in this, and maybe I'll add it later, you know? Yeah, maybe I'll add it later, like towards the end of the journal, or maybe I'll leave some page before starting my whole reviews, because I do want to do that. So we'll see. But yeah, for example, like for the Heart and Soul, a book that found me at the right time. Okay, we already have a page for that, but it's okay. At this point, I was just sitting and writing down the prompt, so it's okay. I know I will still use that. Or like a book that strengthened my faith or changed how I see the world, you know, stuff like that. I don't know if you guys want me to read all of them out to you or not. I mean, I might as well. Like, what else am I going to sit here and talk to you guys about? Right. Oh, I'll talk to you guys about something. I was listening to a second audiobook while reading this. Now, that audiobook is like famous. Like, people are like, oh my God, it's so good. I don't know. It was boring. What is it even called? I don't remember what it's called. Yeah. I think I'm not gonna even like continue that at all, so we'll just not even talk about that book. But yeah, I just remembered it because, you know, I'm getting like memories of this page. But yeah, so some of the other prompts we have are like for new perspectives. Like maybe I see life in a new perspective while reading a certain book. So yeah, I think I will just sit here and read the prompts to you guys, so I don't just talk about other stuff. A character I'll never forget. A friendship I loved. Okay, so memorable stories, right? And again, it's supposed to be the little like stuff or experiences from the book. So in the new perspectives, I have like a translated book, or, you know, like a book from a different culture. It could be anything like that. A world I'd love to visit. Oh yeah, so that one I really wanted to do. So like some of the prompts I really liked, obviously that's why I want to do them. So yeah, and then I also have stuff related to growth. I really wanted like stuff, you know, that would help me like how should I say this? I want like me spending time and reading books, like they're already beneficial because I do learn from them. But I wanted this reading journal to help me more with that, like to help me reflect more, to help me maybe see some patterns, my reading patterns, or, you know, so I can see like what actual, like in depth, like what kind of books like really bother me, or which ones I like, or my experiences, what I learned from them, what I have experienced like through reading them, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm really, really excited to actually use this journal. Like I have books already lined up that I finished, you know, up until now that I want to do reviews for. And yeah, I'm really excited for that. And when that will happen, I don't know. Soon, hopefully. Well, I just need some time, some me time to just sit down and get to it. I'm excited. I bought some new washi tape. I haven't bought washi tape for years, but I bought some. I want to use them in this journal. So really, really excited. If you guys love reading, let me know. Or no, if you guys love reading and you've read like a really good book, let me know. Put it in the comments. Any book suggestions you guys have, put that in the comments. If you read a really horrible book, put that in the comments. I will literally go read it. If you guys have read like such a horrible book, you want me to read it, like write it down. Ooh, I should have made that as some of the prompts. Like the worst book you've read, or a horrible book, or a book that you will never touch again, a book you will never read again. Oh, I should have done that. Darn it. Well, maybe next time I will add these prompts, because like you know, not all reading experiences are positive. So yeah, here is the flip through of my beautiful reading journal. I added a little bit of sparkles and stars, and look at that beauty. So excited to actually open it, sit down and write in this, fill it out. Here is the super glued page I talked to you about. It's not laying flat, but yeah, this was my reading journal. Thank you guys for watching.